What is happening? Today there is a great silence over the earth, a great silence, and stillness. A great silence because the King sleeps. The earth was in terror and was still, because God slept, in the flesh, and raised up those who were sleeping from the ages. God has died in the flesh, and the underworld has trembled. This quotation comes from an ancient homily on Holy Saturday, which the Church reads during the Office of Readings. Holy Saturday is the quietest liturgical day of the year. There are no celebrations of the sacraments, except the last rites. This liturgical silence commemorates the silence of Christ in his death, which is not totally unlike the silence we are experiencing now. Airplanes are grounded, stores are intentionally empty, our beaches are closed. The list continues. The coronavirus has enshrouded the world in a terrible fear, either of the catastrophic numbers of deaths to be expected in the next several weeks, or of the economic calamity that has already begun to unfold. But this fear is not unprecedented. Others have experienced equally frightening circumstances. Consider Mary Magdalene, St. John, or even more importantly, Mary, the mother of Jesus. Consider how they felt in that slow procession to the tomb. Think of the confusion and sadness they felt. The man who raised Lazarus from the dead, forgave the sinful woman, and healed the man born blind is dead. The man whom they came to believe was the Son of God died in a public and humiliating fashion. Think of the challenge to their faith as Jesus lay dead, wrapped in a shroud. But Jesus wasn't resting, nor was he lamenting a defeat, as this ancient author continues. Truly he goes to seek out our first parent like a lost sheep. He wishes to visit those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death. He goes to free the prisoner Adam and his fellow prisoner Eve from their pains. He who is God and Adam's son. The mystery at work here centers around Christ's activity even in his death. Jesus was truly dead. He truly died, but he nevertheless continued in his salvific mission by bursting open the gates of the netherworld to free Adam, Eve, and even his foster father, Joseph, from their bonds and bring them into the heavenly homeland. At the end of this crisis, when our time in the sepulchre is over, Christ will be waiting for us. For it is as if the coronavirus has come and laid a large boulder in front of the tomb. Imagine Martha standing on the other side saying to Jesus, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead 21 days. Perhaps we have become a bit like Martha, falling into despair and confusion and forgetting who Jesus is, so we fear what lay on the other side of the large boulder. But Jesus shall stand there and command us to come out soon, and like the ancient author attributes to him, he shall say, 'I command you, awake, sleeper. I have not made you to be held a prisoner in the underworld. Arise from the dead. I am the life of the dead. Arise, O man, work of my hands, arise. You who are fashioned in my image, rise, let us go hence. For you and me and I and you together, we are undivided.'" The point here is a simple one. Even after we celebrate Easter liturgically, we may feel as if we remain wrapped in a shroud within the sepulchre. But we must not allow this Holy Week to go by without asking God for an increase of hope. We must believe that Christ is at work even in the midst of this terrible moment, and we must hope that Christ awaits our personal resurrection, both the foretaste we await when the virus finally subsides, and the actual moment when Christ raises our bodies from the dead and glorifies them and welcomes us into heaven, as our ancient author describes. The cherubim throne has been prepared. The bearers are ready and waiting. The bridal chamber is in order. The food is provided. The everlasting houses and rooms are in readiness. The treasures of good things have been opened. The kingdom of heaven has been prepared before the ages.